You know that feeling when you walk into a room full of people and somehow feel completely invisible? Like everyone else has this secret handbook on how to connect with other human beings, and you never got yours? That specific kind of loneliness, surrounded by people but still utterly alone, is one of the most painful experiences a person can carry around every single day. And here is the thing nobody talks about. It is not about being shy. It is not about being introverted. Some of the most socially exhausted people on earth are actually incredibly outgoing. They talk to everyone, they smile at everyone, but something always feels hollow. The conversations stay surface level. The connections never stick. And they go home at night wondering what is actually wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you, but something is definitely missing. Before we go any further, if you have been struggling with this for a while, there are resources linked down below in the video description that go much deeper than what we can cover here. People who have used these programs went from dreading social situations to genuinely looking forward to them in weeks, not years. Check them out now because spots are not always available, and honestly, most people who say they will look later never do. That is just the truth. Now let us get into this. Picture this. You are at a gathering. Maybe it is a work event, a party, a casual meetup, does not matter. You see someone you want to talk to. Your brain immediately starts calculating. What do I say? Will they think I am weird? What if there is an awkward silence? What if I run out of things to talk about? And by the time you have finished this entire mental negotiation, the moment has passed. You grab a drink, you check your phone, and that familiar sting settles in again. That internal calculation is the enemy, and it is running on a completely wrong operating system. Most people were never taught how to connect. They were taught how to perform. Think about it. From a young age, you learn to say the right things, behave the right way, impress the right people. Connection was never the goal. Approval was. And approval seeking is the fastest way to kill authentic connection dead in its tracks. Here is what authentic connection actually feels like, because you have felt it before, even if it was rare. It is that conversation that goes so deep and so fast that you look up and 2 hours have somehow disappeared. It is the moment someone says exactly what you were feeling but never had the words for, and you feel this rush of relief, like you are not crazy after all. It is the friendship that started with one honest moment, one real sentence, one drop of vulnerability that cracked everything open. That is not magic. That is a skill, and skills can be learned. The number one reason people feel awkward in social situations is not a lack of confidence. Research consistently shows that the people we find most magnetic, most compelling, most genuinely interesting to be around, they are not the loudest in the room, they are the most present. There is a profound difference between someone who is waiting for their turn to speak and someone who is actually listening to you. You can feel it instantly. One leaves you feeling used, the other leaves you feeling seen. And being seen, truly seen, is one of the deepest human hungers there is. So how do you become that person? How do you stop performing and start connecting? Step 1. Drop the agenda. Walk into a conversation with zero goal other than genuine curiosity about the person in front of you. Not what they do for work, not where they went to school. Curiosity about who they actually are underneath all of that. People live in their resumes because nobody ever asks them to step outside of it. When you do, something remarkable happens. They light up. They open up, and suddenly you are not just two strangers in the same room. You are two people actually meeting each other. Step 2. Get comfortable with silence. Awkward silence is only awkward because you label it that way. In reality, a pause in conversation is just a breath. It is space. It is where real thoughts come from. The moment you stop being terrified of silence, you stop rushing to fill it with noise, and your words start meaning something. People who can hold space in silence are incredibly rare. They are also incredibly magnetic. Step 3. Stop editing yourself in real time. You know what this is. You start to say something honest, something real, and then your internal censor swoops in and waters it down into something safe and forgettable. That editing process is costing you every genuine connection you could be making. The raw, unpolished version of what you actually think is almost always more interesting than the sanitized version you eventually decide is acceptable. Millions of people spend years, sometimes decades, feeling disconnected from the people around them. They invest in careers and appearances and status, and the loneliness only gets worse because none of those things are what people actually connect with. What people connect with is realness, and realness costs nothing except the courage to offer it. Now here is where most advice on this topic falls apart. People hear all of this and they think, okay, I just need to be more real. And then they go into a social situation and they overcorrect. They overshare immediately. They force vulnerability like it is a technique, and it lands completely wrong and feels even more awkward than before. Authentic connection is not about dumping everything on someone in the first 5 minutes. It is about calibration. It is about reading where the other person is and meeting them there, then gradually inviting them a little deeper and watching them follow because they feel safe enough to. Safety is the foundation of every real connection that has ever existed. When someone feels emotionally safe with you, they will tell you things they have never told another human being. Not because you are special, but because you made them feel like they could be. And this is the part that transforms people when they finally understand it. Connection is not about being impressive. It is about being safe. It is about being consistent. It is about making someone feel like the most important person in the room, not through flattery, not through compliments, but through the quality of your attention. Think about the people in your life who have genuinely impacted you, the ones you still think about, the ones whose opinions actually matter to you. Guaranteed, they are not the ones who tried hardest to impress you. They are the ones who made you feel like you mattered, like your words landed somewhere real, like you were worth listening to. That is what you can give people, and when you start giving it, something almost counterintuitive happens. Your own loneliness dissolves, not because you found the right people, but because you became the right person to be around. The transformation that happens when someone genuinely masters authentic connection is not subtle. Relationships that were stuck suddenly deepen. Opportunities that seem to go to everyone else start arriving. Your confidence stops being dependent on how interactions go because you are no longer measuring yourself against reactions. You are anchored in something real. People who have done the real work in this area do not describe it as learning social skills. They describe it as finally coming home to themselves. That is the depth of what we are actually talking about here. Now here is the honest part. Reading this and hearing this is a starting point. But real change in this area, lasting change that actually rewires how you show up in every room you walk into, that requires a level of structure, practice, and guided depth that a single video cannot provide. Which is exactly why we have put together resources linked below in the video description. If you are someone who is genuinely serious about breaking through the invisible wall between you and real human connection, do not scroll past this. The people who wait, who say they will come back to it, almost never do. And another year passes feeling exactly the same way. The resources are there right now. The window you are in right now is the window. Take it,